Okay, third time's the charm.
Okay, 1 billionth times the charm.
No, it's like
Wait,
the
are we started yet?
yes,
Oh
yes.
boy, okay, okay. Let's start this up again because Caddy messed up everything. Flame her! Flame the twin. Okay. So anyway, where should we start again? Oh yeah, okay. I guess we just come right out there and say you
Well,
say who are oh well
you
okay.
go on.
Uh okay, so as some of you may know, the Awesomenauts universe is based on an alternate universe and of a point of divergence I will get to in a minute. But
Of
based
our universe, you should say.
of our alternate universe version of our universe, yes.
Mhm.
That involves a conflict many of you should be aware of. But once again, I'll get to that in a minute. And the reason for this, in our own ramblings and theories, is that Professor Yoolip successfully created the entire Omegaverse, aka the Awesomenauts universe. And the reason for this is because, as his backstory states, he went back in time to the Meso. Well, okay, Caddy, you get into this. So.
Okay. He went back in time to like according to the lore, the dressed hold on. Gotta get the right name. Gotta get the right name. Where's the right name? Where's the right name? Mesic Oric area and
Era, not area. Anyway,
and based off of the dinosaurs he spawned, which looks like more so T Rexes than any other di- dinosaur I've seen. It is around the CRETACEOUS period. Basically around when T Rexes were around, and that was towards the end. So approximately six 65,300,587 years ago
yep,
from the date of Awesomenauts happened.
yes.
Okay, continue.
So our theory is that he helped create this universe because as he is getting materials and creating devices to help recreate his slipper so he can return to the future, he most likely, once he travels back to the future, dun 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 dun. Anyway, back to the future, he leaves behind technology that obviously the dinosaurs won't do anything with because, like I said, they're too busy eating each other. So, like, it'll most likely get covered by years and decades and millennia of sedimentary rock and several other like snow, ice, whatever what you call it, until we get to the around the age of the Cold War. Now, let's say around 1960, early 1960s, late 1950s, during the space race, the uh, the USSR comes across this technology, unearths it somehow, whether it's that they're drilling for oil or something, let's just say, and they find like the remnants of this technology. At first, obviously, they don't know what to do with it, but when they find out how advanced it is and that they can reverse engineer it, they reapply it to their own devices and are able to advance their both military and space-based technology farther than they would have gone beforehand. To the
With
point,
Russia, right?
yeah, with that zip steel that Yoolip is always rambling about, and
VCR straight to nightmare invention causes the world.
that's what causes the Russian sleep experiment. Uh, uh,
Go on.
so they advanced their space-based technology so much that they reached the moon first before the United States, completely changing the playing field of the Cold War. Because now America's like, well, and they're completely like very much demoralized by
Or
the idea that,
scared. Very
yeah,
scared at
very
least.
scared and paranoid by the idea that now their enemy, the USSR, is more advanced than they are in terms of technology. So now the United States will attempt to one up them even harder than they did in the original timeline by advancing their technology far harder and far like riskier than they would have before. plus through espionage, they most likely would also get the technology that the Soviets gained, thus advancing their own space technology and also changing conflicts like the Cuban Missile Crisis and the Vietnam War dramatically, and creating a much more tense, or even more tense and even more heated Cold War that doesn't cool down at any point. And so and so here's where we get into the fun stuff. As all this is going down, the Americans attempt to go farther than the USSR ever did. Oh, you should also mention the whole Planet Russia moon stuff. You go into that.
I completely forgot what I was going to say there. But basically, over time, over the course of what we are going to be explaining now, Russia slowly populates the moon because they have the technology of doing so, and thus, eventually, when we get to the Knots era, Planet Russia's fully established. They rename the moon to that, and they start making their own fantasies of what Earth used to be as soon as Earth goes down the
Goes
drain.
kaput. Goes kaput.
Yeah.
So that the going back to the space race stuff, the Americans will try to go farther and try to outdo the USSR in terms of space-based travel by trying not to land on the moon, but to land on a different planet.
Most likely Mars.
Yes. And so when they attempt that, whether or not they succeed or fail, most likely fail because they would go, okay, hold on.
Oh my god.
You keep doing your thing. Distract them while I go check it.
I'm pausing.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that. Basically, where was I? Oh yeah, whether it succeeds or fails doesn't really matter. What matters is that they try to reach a planet, and they most likely either way would get pretty far on that. But then aliens show up, and so
not just any aliens,
aliens, space hillbillies,
space hillbillies. Odds are Zirians, because everyone hates Zirians.
I know, it's like, how do you know that? I'm just saying this just for awesome, not hilarity sake. This is meant to be 80s stuff. Let's say space hillbillies. So
space hillbillies see the attempt and they're running low on fuel, and they assume, oh, this planet here actually has a docking station. This wasn't on any star map we had before.
So yeah, they're like, we need fuel, so let's just dock over there and ask them for some space fuel.
You know, like any planet that's been already exposed to the galactic trade.
Okay. So let's say, for the sake of argument, that okay, so we come up with the idea, which has some backing in Rocco's backstory, that there's a galactic police / galactic government council thing, in which some rules and regulations apply that alien races are not allowed to interact with another planet if they're not advanced enough to reach space.
The thing that caused that rule to come into ignition was Sorona, because it got nuked to high hell with no recovery whatsoever. Not even like Fallout with us. Yeah.
No pop caps, no nothing. No
yeah,
caps.
yeah, no, it's just a bunch of worms and dead dinosaurs everywhere. It's not fun.
Yeah, no, not a fun time unless you're playing, unless you're a mad ganker with Clunk. And so,
Continue.
or you're not anyway.
The mid is my new home. Go on.
So anyway, okay, so they land and they're like, "Hey, Jim boy, how'd you guys get us some fuel?" And so every because at this point, everybody's gearing up for war. Everybody's like ready and all heated, ready for World War III. And then they show up, and everyone's like, "What?
What's going on?
What's going on here? Who are these people? Who are these three-eyed? Who are these tiny people asking us for fuel?"
Regardless of if those brave hillbillies survive or get instantly shotgunned in the face, that does raise up many, 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 many concerns.
And obviously, the Space Council is like, "Well, we can't backpedal this situation." So they decide to throw caution to the wind and interact with the human race. And so they're like, "Hey guys, guess what? Aliens exist. All your religions are obsolete."
I gotta cut that out. No, you go.
So so anyway, uh, in this situation, so now like the human race is like calming down for a second. So this doesn't last. So now because here comes the
Kicker.
kicker that at this point in time, let's say that every planet had to have a single unified government. Like that was part of intergalactic law if they're going to join the whole intergalactic intertrade type stuff. Because selling to too many like planets on a single, too many like countries on a single planet becomes complicated for like
Trade reasons.
yeah,
It's
trade reasons.
all about the trade.
Just think of like Trade Federation, Star Wars, like political nonsense. Anyway, so anyway, that they have to decide who would be the dominant country on the planet, and obviously because the humans are too divided on that, the council has to decide for them. So they decide based on the whole political map and who seems to be the most dominant dominant country on the planet. They decided the USSR should represent the entire Earth, like all of Earth. It should be the unified government of all of Earth. It should be the communist USSR.
Is that when World War III hits?
Oh yeah, no, everyone loses their nonsense and say, "You what, Mike?" like the fan explodes from all the fecal matter that's thrown at it.
Mm-hmm.
And so like nukes are thrown at each other. Countries like at first it's all the countries against Russia and also the intergalactic government who backs Russia in this situation. But now it eventually just becomes an all-out free-for-all between all the countries for dominance. And like I said, the Soviet Union would have the technological and military backing of the galactic government. But even then, even with the sheer willpower of the USSR and all that, humans resist very fervently and with determination. And so,
wanting to prevent another Sorona, Sorona from happening, they
like, let's say the
yeah,
war goes on for about 5 to 6 years.
yeah, easily.
Yeah. So continue.
To prevent another world from just being utterly destroyed, they make exceptions and adjustments to laws,
Which allows for other countries to exist on a single planet, but in the end, they still choose to use the USSR as their
representative.
representative for the entire planet. Like the United States is allowed to remain along with some other major countries, but they're not too happy about it. But at this point, they're already becoming more backwater of a nation in this timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So now the USSR begins intergalactic trade with all the other planets and and in the galaxy and universe.
And that opens up with immigration and a hopefully more peaceful transition of cultures. I personally believe the French way that Aguilon adopted was introduced by our French, at least that, and maybe the Italians for the gladiator Leon skin too, because I forgot when that skin was said to happen, but it was 1,000 years before the actual date of Awesomenauts happened, 3587. So I'm assuming that both Italians and French people just said tally ho and screw you. That was totally British there. Anyway, it's just bye bye.
Mates.
Gotta go. Gotta go fast. And
hold on, mates. I am inexplicably foreign man.
Anyway, they
France in the last version of this.
Yeah, and they go over the Aguilon at least, and introduce their culture, and that's where their posh way of life at least gets inspired from. Or they had a very French-like culture, but they adopted the French language at least. Hence explains Leon's questionable Frenchiness, but still he does speak some French, even though it's not very accurate. Regardless, knowing human nature, they are finally exposed to the whole galaxy through the galactic trade.
No ginger orgy.
No ginger orgies. People are gonna be like, what? what about Ginger and Agulon? And
Okay, if you have more questions about ginger orgies, ask me. Anyway,
it's from some alternate history book where like a lizard alien race invades during World War II. I forgot the name of it.
Cold War in the Balance. Read it. I read like most of the series.
Oh
Right.
god.
Kind of stuff.
All right, continue.
Anyway, that. So anyway, where were we with the? Oh yeah, intergalactic trade, and this opens up the door for democratic ideals to enter into USSR as they become more economically advanced and more economically sound than they would in the original timeline due to, intergalactic trade.
Hmm.
They slowly realize that their old economic ways aren't going to survive in this new universe. So they need to advance their own government and economic systems to be more capitalist and democratic. And thus leads the way for people like Vladimir Puchenko to be successful businessmen now that competition is allowed.
Hmm.
So now with now with Earth slowly getting sound and the Cold War over, things go as you would expect with
A couple
humans,
hundred years.
a couple of hundred years, humans dispersing all over the place, and
Populated like bunnies.
until they reach the Bonnie Planet and have a population off.
Oh my god. Okay, continue. Okay, the space hillbillies got me, but now we need a buddy planet. Get on it. All right, continue.
So anyway, so the next part of this would be okay. I guess the next part will be the first AI war.
Yes, which is leading into the canon things, and that's where we could technically stop, but we're going to
Okay, keep in
explain
mind.
anyway.
Okay, we should mention that that part of canon is that the Awesomenauts does take place in a universe where the Soviets won the Cold War.
Yes. And this whole explanation was to explain how that happened.
So anyway, so yeah, and then the robot stuff happens, and so
Ted,
now,
McPain,
yeah,
Raylan, that stuff happens.
Voltar exploding, yeah, and human race all unites this time instead of against each other to fight the robots.
Assumably, Ted's from America, hence the pants.
Well, or lack of pants.
Well, pants if you're British, underwear for everyone else because British people are backwards.
Oh wow. First the French, now the British. Let's just insult everybody today. We're gonna get banned like what happened in that. Okay. Well, I'll shoot. Anyway. So anyway, what's the next? Okay, so yeah, Ted eventually dies because the robot dinosaurs, him defending Sunny Daisy, all that.
Which could have happened because of Ayla's grandpa causing the zombie dinosaurs to actually happen. Who knows?
And so then,
That's just a theory.
and so okay, back to
Theory.
canon. Earth just gets destroyed because everybody's sad over the fields of Ted McPain, and plus they'll leave all their web browsers open, which flood the world. Possibly they could be combined. People could have left their web browsers open because they're too busy crying over Ted McPain. So either way, the
conspiracy theory, Agulon also just makes bot accounts helping the flood happen. Continue.
Earth gets wrecked. Planet Russia remains as the sole earthly planet,
which is the moon.
Yeah. So then we're left with that. Then we get to the second AI war,
which is the one we're in now, I think.
Yeah, the second AI war,
which we know jack all about, to be frank.
Yeah, we know. Well, it's implied that government business moguls like Blabble and Vladimir might have helped to rebuild I forget which AI core got destroyed, but they might have helped rebuild it, thus them refueling the second AI war.
Mm-hmm. For profit game.
Yeah. So all the fighting is happening, and that leads to where we are with the Awesomenauts.
And to explain how we can have the same dude in this universe, which is Omegaverse, we have to explain generally how we think the things work in here. So when Dino Grandpa travels back in time, he's actually traveling to a different universe happening because based off of many skins like ESC Rocco and RoboCop slash Killer Koala Scoop, there are many different universes out there. Hell, even like Rocco's description says there are many different universes out there. So it's safe to assume that we work off of a multiverse theory, and thus we can work on the different timelines theory because they would exist in their own respected timeline. So whatever universe that this dude you see on screen right now went back in time, he disappeared of whatever universe is. Like he's easily declared dead unless some shenanigans happens. Anyway, though,
Webbly wobbly, timely wise.
yeah. So we are following the character that just got announced. This dude. So he goes back in time, does things with the dinosaurs, and this makes a new timeline, which is basically the Omegaverse. And when he goes forward in time, he stays within the same universe, which conveniently, I know it's extremely rare for this to happen, but he goes back in time as soon as the current one does something very similar, where he goes into a different timeline. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy of a sorts. That, or he kills off the current one because there can be only one, Braveheart style. Regard Regardless of what that
And
happens.
only one is Highlander. Get it right.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm bad with names. So he stays within this universe, and that's how all this happened. Was because of this dude heading back in time, playing with the dinosaurs, and then finding a way to come back.
Pretty much.
And everything's conveniently around the same where he left. Like he still has the same daughter, granddaughter Ayla. The only thing that changed was you know, Earth being a thing.
Some Bioshock Infinite stuff right there.
Which would also explain why he kind of rambles about the past a lot, because he's very terrified, I feel. Extremely terrified and confused.
Having two different set of memories in his head.
Basically. So, that's everything.
That's our entire crazed theory here.
Crazy theory of how Earth became to be just because of this one dude. Well,
So yeah,
ended up to be.
ended up to be. Everybody praise him. He is the He's the creator of all of this. Not Ron, but Yoolip.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. Please rate, comment,
So like, comment,
subscribe.
subscribe, buy my
Do
mixtape, buy my fanfic.
buy the fanfic. Buy the
Yes, buy the
fanfic.
fanfic. We're selling it now. Selling it for $0. That's a lot.
$0 and 1 penny.
Yep. We're selling a fox. Yes.
We. Yes, pennies. Every penny.
All of them.
All of them.